Hello and welcome to Get a Grip on Rebates. I'm Juan Carlos Blacker, and with me, as always, is John Wilson. Hey, John, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, man.
Good, good. Hey, we're brought to you by TCP, the craziest people in lighting. Go visit them at tcpi.com. What are you going to find on their website, John?
Lots of lamps, lots of just, probably everything you're looking for. You know what I always say at the store when they're like, "You finding everything, sir?" And I'm like, "I'm finding crap I wasn't looking for. I'm finding stuff I didn't even know I was here shopping for. So leave me
That's
alone
what you're
and
going to
keep spending
find at their
money."
website. Yep.
Yeah,
That's what you're going to find. And you're going to find a lot of information on rebates, which they are known for. So go visit them at tcpi.com. John, it is the fall. The weather is getting cooler. I actually had a chill this morning. It's lighting season, or so they say, right? So what are we feeling like? We're moving into lighting season. We're moving into the fall. The days are getting longer. Or I should say, the days are getting shorter. The nights are getting longer. How are you feeling?
yeah, yeah. Man, there's all this talk about this infrastructure bill that's like probably not going to happen. Meanwhile, we just successfully wasted $1 trillion uh pretty much in a contest to flush it down a place we're not going to get a good return on it, you might say.
Yeah, yeah. You're
We
talking
should
about
have got like
Afghanistan, of
Lloyd's of
course.
London or somebody to ensure our investment in these. Like, before you go out and do nation building, go get an insurance quote. To, it's like, is there a hedge fund out there that could have? I hope somebody profited off all the money we wasted.
Yeah, I agree. This Afghanistan fiasco is just bringing me down. It's a ton of wasted money, uh, but and lives. More importantly, lives for nothing. For nothing. And I
What
think, listener, we John and I are a little salty about what's happened there, about the time, the expense, the lives that have been wasted, and then we have things like the infrastructure bill. Our bridges are collapsing, our energy grid is a mess.
a
We have
mess.
wildfires. We have, I mean, everything's happening, and we're spending all this money in things that aren't necessary. I don't know. Makes me
And then
makes me angry.
arguing,
And
yeah, and then saying at home we can't spend this money at home, but we can spend it at other places. Well, so I mean,
right,
that's kind of what got me thinking about it. Is thinking about like these utilities, the way these rebate programs work, that all the hoops we got to jump through to get people dollars here in America for lights. You know, meanwhile, like Raytheon doesn't got to get rebates to make Hellfire missiles. It's
nope.
crazy.
It, it, it's
Anyhow,
it's ridiculous. And
what
and
what
and,
would you
and
like to
listen,
see for lighting? Here's a question for you. For lighting, I mean, if you were, I mean, none of this matters because Congress is dysfunctional, and yep, I'll double down on that. Five will get you 10. That's going to be true tomorrow. But what would you like to see in an infrastructure bill for lighting? Like what would make you like relative to what we do, utilities, lighting?
I don't.
What would make a difference?
I don't know if I'd want to focus just on lighting on the infrastructure. I mean, obviously, it won't focus just on that. I don't think I
Yeah, I
want to
mean, it'd be
focus
one
right
piece.
now
It'd be
on what
one
I
piece
want to
with
light
a
it.
bunch of stuff.
What I want to see is mass amounts of infrastructure in terms of grid redevelopment, so that we have a grid that is national and not
Yeah,
segmented, that's stable, that's protected, that's that is available and useful across the nation, for everybody, and not segmented, so that you have situations like we had in Texas, where we get people who are freezing because they can't get heat, because they've deregulated systems in Texas. We talk about being Americans, but then we quickly go back and talk about being, uh, just our state and having that state's rights. And I am a federalist at heart. I don't understand why we segment things. I think it's bad business and it's bad practice. And in the utility system, or in the grid system, in the energy system, it's actually detrimental to our livelihood and to our protection. And I think that
yeah,
is troubling. That is troubling for me. I mean, so me, because of my interest in energy and energy efficiency, I want to see a huge grid, infrastructure redo. Um, that is just a minor part, though. I think there's massive amounts of construction infrastructure that needs to happen. There we have buildings and roads and bridges that are falling apart. All that should have with it some sort of efficiency mandate, whether that's everything is LED or everything is efficient lighting on the lighting side. Great, um, but it should be a mandate, and that's
You know
I'm a
what's
mandate. I'm a
interesting?
mandate guy.
I'm a mandate guy too. I'm a mandate guy too. Like, I want there to be a philosopher king on 4-year limits. You know, I'm a mandate guy and I'm a term limits guy.
You
And that's
talking
how those
term
two things
limits?
balance out. That's how those
Yeah,
two things balance out.
yeah. I think the
I'm gonna tell you something
situation
else.
where
Just while we're talking
yeah,
about balancing it out, and while we're talking about all this, just my favorite DJ here in Portland, 4 to 6, 89.1 KMHD, the baby boomer. So good, so good. You don't got to be here in Portland, people. You could tune in online, kmhd.org. You should check them out.
I've never
4
listened.
to
What are we?
6,
What kind of
4 to
balanced
6 on
music is
Fridays.
it?
Oh, hey, they're celebrating jazz without boundaries, my friend, but they're playing everything soul, funk, rhythm, and blues. I mean, it's so good. It's so good. It's so good. And the DJs
Okay,
are amazing, man. They're just a world of knowledge. Every one of them is a world of knowledge. They're like the most passionate people. You know, when you see somebody like give a talk on something and you're like, man, that person is doing what they were meant to do. It's the sort of thing, it's like you're not into it, but you see them doing it and you're like, dang, like that person's living their best self. I feel that way. Even the DJs on the show that like I don't really like their style or whatever, you know. I mean, there's like people say jazz, that's not one type of music, right? You know, they're like,
right.
I don't know, there's all sorts of different types. But I'm like, hey, she's killing it. Like she she's she's living her truth, man.
Yeah.
Look, baby
So to bring
boomer,
it
4
back,
to 6. I'm
to bring
bringing
it
it
to
back.
our,
I'm bringing it back. I'm bringing it back.
I'm
Listen,
gonna bring it back.
he got this line. The balance. The balance.
Right, I got it. I got it. So to bring it back to our
Yeah,
side
yeah.
on
Hey,
lighting, where do you get the balance?
well, I don't know, man. Uh, you were talking about mandates. You were talking
Yeah,
about mandates. I think
I was.
I think we need to actually have more mandates at the manufacturing level to drive efficiency and drive where this stuff is going. Uh, Now, granted, you don't want to stifle innovation at all. You don't want to stifle that, but I think we need mandates for that. I think we need mandates for cybersecurity.
Yep.
And the thing that sucks, so like DLC, you know, they had a phenomenal webinar a couple of weeks ago, and they're going to make, you know, having one of these, it's going to be a requirement that you have to have some sort of cybersecurity certificate, or you know, if your system has been meets these sort of criteria for what it's been tested for, and it's real interesting. I mean, I like how they've done it, because it's like, look, they're not saying which one you have to have. They're saying there's a bunch out there and you have to report what you have. I think that's a great approach, because there's not a one size fits all solution. So like mandates can't be so rigid that they only drive one solution. But all this, like when I hear like the coal industry be like, the coal industry is under attack in this latest
Yeah, please.
infrastructure bill. And it's like, yeah, you
Yeah,
are.
yeah,
You're attacking the environment.
right,
You know, like give me a break. We
right.
need mandates. We need freaking mandates. Here's what I was gonna say. This
I
is the balance. This is what I was talking about KMHD, because I'm gonna tie this back. You can't have personal freedom without personal responsibility. And part of that responsibility is being like, I can't or shouldn't support all this crap that is so detrimental to the rest of our environment, undermines our economy. And here's the worst part: makes it impossible to change. It makes it impossible to change. That's the worst part of what we're caught up in all this. It's what perpetuates so much of the like why we're just still giving little tiny BS incentives for commodity products and not making investments in infrastructure like the grid.
right, and I think the utilities play a large part in this, and we need to put more mandates on the utilities, particularly the investor-owned utilities who are playing in the status quo, not very innovative, not trying to make big changes, messing with our
Hey, you know what?
livelihoods,
I love. I'm
responsible for
always
bad
dogging on the
infrastructure
IOU.
issues. Right?
I'm gonna surprise you. I'm gonna surprise you here, because it's easy to dog on the IOUs.
Yeah.
It's easy to dog on the IOUs. It's like It's the public's too. The public's too.
It is.
Because they tie themselves, because number one, they're cash freaking cows, so they get tied. The municipality is like, oh, that's like my little casino. That's the casino over there. They're always going to be raking in cash. They also just want to promulgate the status quo. And it's like, nope, we actually need to drive some serious investment in the grid, in securing the grid, and then in enabling the rest of this energy efficiency. And listen, I'm a card carrying capitalist. You've heard me say that before on the show. So it's like, just because we need mandates doesn't mean I'm a communist and I want to come take your guns and your freedom. It's like, nope. We need open markets. Damn it. The status quo ain't working. And it's hurting our rebate game. It's hurting this lighting. It's hurting this lighting game.
And we do need responsibility, and a lot of these guys don't have the responsibility. We're looking at I brought up IOUs because the California IOUs are killing me. They're constantly just blowing it, whether it's on rebates or spending, or in the recent case of causing forest fires. You think they learned their lesson, but they don't. They got to take responsibility for not only their systems, but also their governments. These are the only regulated monopolies in the country, or really deregulated monopolies. And they have, like you said, they are all cash cows, whether they're public, co-ops, or IOUs, because of their monopoly. And the fact that we all need electricity and we'll pay whatever we need to pay for it. But they need to take responsibility. And as we do with everything, going all the way back to our discussion earlier, responsibility of the decisions we make to nation build and to fight pandemics and to deal with everything. The infrastructure, everything. The world's a bit of a mess right now, and
hey, let me say this: like, do you think this is a controversial statement? I believe in auto insurance. If you're going to drive a car, and if you have the ability to total somebody else's car and or kill them, your ass better have insurance. Like, I'm fine with that law.
Yeah.
That's a mandate, How come so many people are okay with that, but all this other shit?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't mind wearing a helmet. It's a mandate. I don't mind putting on my seatbelt. That's a mandate, right?
Yeah.
I don't mind getting my my measles and mumps shot to go to college. That's a mandate, right? So you got to do it.
Most people what's so weird? I just read about this. Some of these, a lot of these states, really, like the governors leading this, like, they're like rolling back the vaccine, access to the vaccine, all that. They're the same states that have the highest, like they're the measles, mumps, and rubella. You got to get that shot. They have the highest. Like, they've locked into that.
Regulation.
They did it like 20 years ago.
Right.
Yeah, they have the highest regulations for like getting all this stuff. And then all of a sudden with this, it's just weird, man. It's disorienting. Like, I know we're talking about like bigger stuff in society, but then when you ask me about like where's lighting going and all this, it's disorienting. I mean, when you think about all that stuff going on, it's like, how am I supposed to think about where lighting and rebates are going when we can't figure this crap out?
Right. I agree. Probably a good place to end our conversation today, John. We are both good Portland liberals, but also capitalists at heart. For our listeners out there who think we're full of malarkey and want to let us know, hey, let us know. Write us, reach out to us. We love a discussion. Hey, we know we were off.
I'm a liberal in the classic sense of the word, not in the modern, like, Occupy Wall Street sense of the word. So maybe we'll pick that up on the next show.
Yeah, maybe
liberal
maybe.
somehow got turned into a pejorative. That's what I'm trying to say.
Agreed. I do not think so. I feel very proud of being a liberal in the classic sense of the word. So anyway, John, we're going a little long, but hey, thank you for the discussion. I think we needed to have a discussion where we weren't focused on, can you get $2 for a TLED or $4 for a fixture, blah blah blah. This was a nice conversation. I know you and I are both feeling a little strange about the world, and it's always good to talk it through. So
I'm gonna close it with this. I want to call TCP like the creative people in lighting. I don't feel like crazy is positive. I'm gonna call like creative. Let me think of some other good words for C. But thank you, TCP. Visit them at tcpi.com. The most creative people in lighting. Check them
Love it.
out.
Love it. Love it. I agree. I agree. Thank you, John, and we'll talk soon. Have a good one.
All right, bud. Take care.